My neighbor Marcus got a package at 3 a.m. last Tuesday. I know because I heard the knocking from my apartment next door. 3 sharp knocks that woke me up. I checked my phone. 3 a.m. exactly. Then I heard it again. 3 more knocks, louder this time. I figured someone had the wrong apartment and tried to go back to sleep. The next morning I saw Marcus in the hallway. He looked terrible. Eyes bloodshot, hands shaking as he fumbled with his keys. I asked if he was okay. He just stared at me for a second, then said, "Did you hear someone knocking last night?" I told him yeah, around 3 a.m. His face went pale. "Did you see who it was?" I said no, I didn't get up to check. He nodded slowly and went into his apartment without another word. Marcus and I weren't close, just neighbors who'd say hi in passing. He was a quiet guy, mid-30s, worked in finance or something. Kept to himself mostly. But over the next week, I started noticing changes in him. He looked exhausted all the time. He'd jump at sudden sounds. He started checking his peephole obsessively every time he came home, looking up and down the hallway like he expected someone to be there. One night, about a week after that first 3 a.m. knock, I heard him shouting. Not at someone, just shouting in general, angry, frustrated. I almost knocked on his door to check on him, but then it went quiet. The next morning I saw him taking out trash. Inside the bag I could see torn up cardboard, a box ripped to pieces. 2 weeks in, I ran into him at the building's mailroom. He was checking his mailbox, but his hands were shaking so badly he could barely get the key in. He saw me watching and tried to play it off. "Haven't been sleeping well," he said. "Work stress." But it wasn't work stress. I could tell. This was something else. That night, 3 a.m. again, I heard the knocking. 3 sharp knocks on Marcus's door. I got up this time, looked through my peephole. The hallway was empty except for a box sitting in front of Marcus's door. Brown cardboard, medium-sized. I watched as Marcus's door opened slowly. He stood there in his pajamas, staring down at the box like it was a bomb. He looked up and down the hallway, then quickly grabbed the box and slammed his door. I could hear him through the wall. Our apartments shared a wall, and I could hear him moving around frantically. Drawers opening, things being thrown. Then silence. Complete silence for maybe 10 minutes. Then I heard him crying. Not sobbing, just this quiet, defeated crying that went on for hours. The next day I knocked on his door. He didn't answer. I knocked again. "Marcus, it's your neighbor. Are you okay? I heard you last night." Still nothing. I was about to leave when the door opened a crack. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. "I'm fine," he said. "Just dealing with some personal stuff." I asked if he needed anything, if I could help. He just shook his head and closed the door. The packages kept coming. Every few nights, 3 a.m., 3 knocks, another box. I started staying up to see if I could catch whoever was delivering them, but I never saw anyone. The boxes would just appear. I checked our building's security cameras one day when the super was looking at them for something else. I asked if he'd seen anyone on the 3rd floor around 3 a.m. recently. He pulled up the footage. Nothing. The hallway was empty, and then suddenly a box would be sitting in front of Marcus's door. No one delivered it. It just appeared. About a month in, Marcus stopped going to work. I'd see his car in the parking garage, never moving. His mail piled up. He stopped taking out trash. The only time I saw him was when those boxes arrived. He'd open his door, grab the box, and disappear back inside. I started to worry he was having a breakdown. I thought about calling someone, but who? The police? And say what? My neighbor is getting packages and acting weird? I didn't know what to do. Then one night, around 2:45 a.m., I heard him in the hallway. I looked through my peephole. He was standing outside his door, just standing there, staring at nothing, waiting. At exactly 3 a.m., 3 knocks echoed through the hallway. But there was no one there, just the sound of knocking with no source. A box appeared on the ground in front of him. I saw it happen. 1 second, the floor was empty. The next second, there was a box. Marcus picked it up, and I swear I saw tears running down his face. The next morning, I found a note slipped under my door. It was from Marcus. It said, "I'm sorry for the noise. I'm leaving today. If anyone asks, you don't know anything. Don't try to find me. And if you ever get a package at 3 a.m. that you didn't order, don't open it. Throw it away. Burn it. Just don't open it." That was it. By the time I read the note, he was gone. His apartment was empty. No furniture, no clothes, nothing. The landlord said he'd paid out his lease in cash and left no forwarding address. Just vanished. I thought that was the end of it. But 3 nights later, 3 a.m., I heard knocking. 3 sharp knocks on my door. I looked through the peephole. Nothing. But when I opened the door, there it was. A brown cardboard box, medium-sized. My name on a white label in plain black letters. My hands were shaking as I picked it up. I remembered Marcus's note, "Don't open it." But I had to know. I had to understand what had driven him away. I brought the box inside and opened it. Inside was a manila envelope. I opened it and pulled out photos. 5 of them. The first was of me at my gym. The second was of my car in my parking spot. The third was of my apartment window from outside. The fourth was of me at a restaurant I'd been to last week. And the fifth was taken inside my apartment. Inside. Someone had been in here. Under the photos was a note. It said, "I know what you did." My mind raced. What did I do? And then I remembered. 6 months ago. The accident. I'd been driving home late, checking my phone. I didn't see the cyclist until it was too late. I swerved, heard a thud, kept driving. I told myself I'd just clipped him, that he was probably fine. I never went back, never reported it. I convinced myself it was nothing, but someone knew. Someone had seen, and now they were letting me know they knew. I didn't sleep that night. The next night, 3 a.m., 3 more knocks. Another box, more photos. Photos of me everywhere I'd been that day. And another note. You can't hide from what you've done. This went on for a week. 7 boxes, 7 sets of photos, each one more invasive than the last. Photos of me sleeping, photos of me in my bathroom, photos of me in places I thought I was alone. And the notes got worse. I know where you work. I know where you sleep. I know what scares you. On the 8th night, the box was different, heavier. Inside was a USB drive and a note. Watch this, then you'll understand. I plugged it in. The video showed dashcam footage from the night of the accident, but not from my car, from another car. I watched myself hit the cyclist, watched him fall, watched me hesitate, then drive away. But the video kept playing. It showed someone running to the cyclist, paramedics arriving, a hospital, a funeral. The final frame was text on a black screen. He was 19 years old. He died from internal bleeding because you didn't call for help. You killed him and drove away. I threw up. I couldn't breathe. I didn't know he'd died. I thought he'd been okay. I'd convinced myself of it. But I was wrong. I'd killed someone and run. The 9th night, 3 a.m., 3 knocks. I opened the door. A man was standing there, older, maybe 60s, holding a box. He looked tired and sad. "You watched the video," he said. I nodded. "That was my son. You killed him and left him on the side of the road like garbage." I couldn't speak, couldn't move. He handed me the box. Inside was a police report, unfiled, my name at the top. Evidence, proof of what I'd done. "I could send this in right now," he said, "but I won't. Because I want you to live with what you did. Every day. Forever. That's worse than any prison." He walked away. I stood there holding that report, knowing he was right. The packages stopped after that. But he was right about everything. I see that kid everywhere. I dream about him. I wake up at 3 a.m. every night waiting for knocks that don't come anymore. Marcus understood. That's why he ran. Not because he could escape it, but because staying in that apartment, hearing those knocks, reliving it every night, was too much. I turned myself in last week. I'm waiting for my court date. But that's not the scary part. The scary part is knowing someone is watching. Always watching. Waiting for you to slip up. Documenting everything. And when they're ready, they'll let you know they've been there all along. If you ever get a package at 3 a.m. that you didn't order, listen to Marcus. Don't open it. Because whatever's inside knows your secrets. And once you know they know, you can never go back.